Welcome, everybody. It's a beautiful, beautiful day in Alva, Oklahoma, and other parts of the world. I do want to inform you about one thing that you need to know, but first, I'll invite you to come into the show. This is Rose and Ben. 168 years of fall down 7 times, get up 8. The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. We have people here today that are going to help you through some of the tougher times of life, and we'll be interviewing them in just a moment. But first, you need to re-meet the person who is absolutely in charge of this deal. Ladies and gentlemen, working without a net, here's Rosie.
Oh, good morning, Benny. It's a good day to be alive in Alva, Oklahoma, and we do really have a bunch of nice information to give this morning. Some really great guests, and we'll be telling you about a lot of things. But our first guest lives across the street from me. She works at the Votech. Her name is Jessica Schonbacher, and she teaches digital design. Now, I imagine a lot of you have questions of what is digital design. Well, first you have to have a computer, of course. And I'm going to be interviewing her here and asking some questions, and I'm going to have her tell us something about her class over there. So, Jessica, good morning, and thank you for coming, and give us an idea of what you do over there at the Votech.
Good morning. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me. At Northwest Tech, I teach a class called Digital Design, and that is kind of a mouthful, but it's essentially just graphic design. Yeah, you do have to have a computer. I have students from ages of sophomore class, 16, and then I have adult students as well. So we learn things about graphic design using Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator. We can do graphics and flyers and business cards and promotional materials, posters, lots of different things like that. The kids learn about color theory and things being balanced on the screen and anything that's going to look good for print or for web publications. So we do a lot of like social media type posts and graphics, game day, things like that. So those are just some of the things that you'll learn about if you would come to Digital Design.
Okay. Do you have night classes, or are they all-day classes?
So the classes that I teach in digital design are what we call full-time program classes. So those are during the day. We have a morning session full of students and an afternoon session full of students. So that's kind of how our day runs, is by morning, afternoon. It's really different for these students that come from the public schools, where they have a first hour and a second period and a third period, where we just kind of have a block of time that we have. And I say it's like a revolving door. They come for a little bit and then they leave, and sometimes they'll go take a math class down the hall and then they'll come back. And so it's really challenging as far as managing all the time and the students. But yes, our programs are during the day, and we do have nighttime classes, but that's not part of digital design.
Okay. Did I hear you say you make cards? Can't think of it.
Like business cards?
Business cards, yes.
So yeah, we can design about anything you can think of. I think a big misconception about Northwest Tech is we are not a print shop. So I always try to kind of encourage people to get their items printed. Northwestern has a nice print shop there on campus, and they're very economical. But we can design just about anything you can think of. And of course, everything needs to be a learning opportunity, you know. So we're not a business. We're not set up to collect money or to do those kinds of things. It's more about what we can do to learn more about graphic design.
So if I came in and I said, I need some cards made, you would help me design it and then send it to the print shop? Yes, they have a fabulous print shop at Northwestern.
Yeah, that's kind of how things work. We do a lot of quote assignments, which I call book work. So the kids have to learn how to create these things first. So we kind of get off to a slow start around August, September, and we start learning and we start building our foundation. And then after Christmas break, then we kind of take on some of these projects, making business cards. And we'll work closely with Northwestern's print shop and help you get those printed and collected after we do the design part.
Okay.
Rosie, great job getting acquainted with Jessica. I'm going to grab the microphone from you for a very short time to tell our listeners that we're having problems with the radio side. We're fine on the streaming side. So if you're trying to listen to us on 99.5, you can do it, but you got to really, really, really try. I would suggest that you go to kalvradio.com. Pick it up on the stream anywhere in the world, and it's absolutely wonderful. Little IT gremlins, Rosie. You're familiar with those little devils.
Well, can't you go to Facebook and listen?
You can, as I think I just said, but maybe not. I never know if I say something or just think I'm getting ready to say it. It's fine on Facebook. It's fine on YouTube and the other platforms. It's just a little sketchy here on 99.5. And you know what I hope that is, Rosie?
What?
I've been praying for rain. I'm hoping that the big system that is south of us, that is heading this way supposedly, is causing problems in the ozone. But you know what my theory is on the ozone? Yep. The Aquanet people have completely burned the ozone away.
I can't even comment on that.
Just follow me, Rosie. I'll have you wearing diamonds as big as acorns. Keep going. This is great. So, Jessica, look, no, don't keep going. I got a question for Jessica. May I?
Please do.
So I'm at the tech, at your place of employment. We live streamed the question and answer session of the 3 mayoral candidates. So I took this equipment up there and set it up, and then I was kind of left to myself. When I'm not adult supervised, it creates. So I'm roaming through the place, and I've never been down this particular hallway. Let me see it. I think it's the hallway on the south end of the center, and it's decorated beautifully by graphics. And I say decorated because they've made, I guess, banners, which would be like maybe 3 by 5. I mean, they're big. And I see one of my favorite guys, Chase. Porter. I see Chase Porter up there and all his beautification, and he's created this thing. Is that some of your stuff?
Yeah. So first of all, I just want to say, don't we have a beautiful building out there? Oh my goodness. I'm so proud of where I work. My classroom was recently renovated, and it's just gorgeous. So I'm really proud of Northwest Tech. And I sometimes I think, I can't believe they pay me to come here every day. It's funny. I'll tell you a quick story. I'm sure you have a time limit, but when my kids were little, you know how when your kid's not feeling good, you take them to work with you that day, and they so when I do a lecture, like I'm going to teach somebody something, I record it. I record my voice and I record my screen. So I kind of give them a how-to step-by-step video. And my son goes, I'm just very proud of my job and what I get to do every day. And yes, those posters were created by my students. It's a little bit of a competition every year. Who can come up with the winning design? So everybody creates a design and it's voted on. And so this was the winning design. It kind of has a vintage look to it. And so close to 150 posters printed in those hallways. And like you said, it's lined on both sides of the hallways. So we collect what they like about the tech. We get their name, what school they come from. Because, you know, we have kids that come from Alva, Cherokee, Winoka, and Freedom. So we collect all that information, and then we take a picture of them, an action shot, while they're doing something cool in their classroom, and put all that together. And we got a couple of poster printers. It takes us, I'm going to say, weeks to get 150 posters printed for the hallways, but it really does brighten up the hallways and make it look like decorated. Like you said, it's nice.
So I have a question about the graphic design. For it to be a productive job. I mean, there's not very many jobs that need a full-time graphic designer, but there are a ton of companies that when we need one, we need one. So is that kind of where your students are heading?
Great question. So, a lot of my job security is graduation requirements. In the past, students have to have computer credits to get a high school diploma. So that has kind of been a lot of my enrollment is I get students that they just need to get that computer credit so they can graduate. Turns out some of those kids end up loving it and going into something like that in further education in college or something like that. That is why I don't get a lot of adult students because it's just not a large need for a full-time graphic designer, just like you said. So it's hard to pull in those adults when you can't promise a career right here in Northwest Oklahoma. And there's so much that, especially with the new AI features online, that people can just type in a prompt and it'll create things for you nowadays. And so that's also a little scary for the graphic design industry too. But every now and then I'll get an adult student come through and want to learn a little bit. I feel like the things that we teach in digital design can be helpful in so many different career options. Just like you were asking about making web pages, or maybe you work at the dealership. There's always, if you've got that niche or those skills, you could help your company or your job with flyers or business cards or things like that. So there's not really a large need for a full-time graphic designer in businesses, but those skills I think will apply in so many different areas.
You mentioned perspective. I mean, you guys being the techs around the country, you put out marketing information. What if I see something in the adult education marketing of another tech? Can I go out of my territory?
That's a great question, and it may be out of my knowledge of information, but you can take classes at any tech center, and we are it's kind of one big happy family. We want to be able to provide something unique here in Alva that maybe you can't get anywhere else, but they also have some great opportunities at Autry and Enid and Woodward High Plains. I mean, we do a lot together as well.
Well, you did answer my question then. So, and at Fairview, which is like your sister, I guess. So I could certainly take something at Fairview. I think they have a video production course that really is interesting to me as we expand our streaming capabilities. And we're kind of like when you are I'm approaching this when I was an adjunct professor. I try to read one chapter ahead of the students.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I've taught a lot of different things. I really, at the Tech Center, we try to get the best in that industry. For example, in our health careers class, we've got EMTs, we've got, RNs. Like, we want to get those best of their industry. However, I'm just a teacher. I've taught lots of different things. I don't have the graphic design background. But like you said, it's hard to I don't know. It's just hard to be the best when it's always technologies.
That's why there are history majors, for those people who do not want to trade textbooks every year or courses.
So true. So true.
So Jessica, you've been in this deal how many years out here?
So I've been teaching at the Tech Center. This is my 15th year. I started at the Fairview campus. And so it's interesting. I was a teacher here at Alva Middle School, and they said, hey, you might be interested in this Tech Center job. And I didn't know anything about it. So I drove to the Fairview campus for about 7 years and I taught digital design down there and kind of got my feet wet. Finally got the hang of things, and the exact job opened here at Alva. So I've been driving over here to Alva. This will make 15 total years I've worked for Northwest Tech.
Let me ask you a question that's only in my mind and doesn't have anything to do with anything that we've talked about. I enjoy having to commute from my home to my job. And when I lived in Oklahoma City and we had billboards all up and down I-40 and I-35, and my shop was in Elk City, I found it medicinal to leave Elk City and have an hour and a half drive that nobody could get to me.
I can completely understand with what you're saying. We just had this conversation with my husband the other day. He likes to get up early and have that 15 minutes to just drink his coffee and read a little bit if he wants to. Well, that's my commute. I like my 20-minute drive. I can think about what I'm going to do for the day, or on the 20 minutes home, what am I going to cook for supper? What kind of ball game were we going to usually go to? But yeah, I don't mind the commute at all.
And I would suppose that you, like everybody that is in some sort of business, has a problem from time to time in whatever it is they're doing. Usually has something to do with somebody with a strong personality. And that time gives you that, okay, so she said, now then, and you kind of get it where it starts to make sense. I need that because when I'm in the conflict, I don't say intelligent things. I didn't necessarily. I say things, and then on the drive home, I think, I didn't even think that. It just went out of my mouth. This person will never speak to me again. I need that drive.
I know what you're saying. Hey, my husband has a good theory on this. He's been a football coach for years. And, after ball games, everybody's emotions are on high, and so he always has a rule that I won't talk to anybody about an issue or a conflict for 24 hours. We need to sleep on it. Then you can gather up all those thoughts or on your drive before you have those conversations.
I have also adopted a derivative of the Schonbacher theorem, and that is I need 72 hours. I got to have 72 hours. It's 24 hours, I'm still saying, I think I can whip him in my mind. But 72, I've usually got it sorted out that, okay, may win, may lose, but it's going to hurt either way, so let's not do it. You had anything like that in your teaching career, Rosie?
Oh, yes. I used to drive to Burlington, and I'd think about what I was going to do on the way, what I did wrong on the way home. It was a good time to think.
One of your students told me behind your back that you can do things with a 3-foot ruler, a yardstick, I guess, that probably would go against the code today.
I'd probably be in jail. I didn't beat him up. I beat the piano a lot. I carried a yardstick and I beat time. We had band and I would beat time with that yardstick. Once in a while it would slip.
Fortunately for you, there were no cell phones and everybody wasn't a photographer in those days, or there would be some great TikToks about this redheaded maniac beating at piano.
That's the only thing every kid ever remembers. Oh, gosh, it's so good to see you. I remember you beating on the piano and me too.
So, Jessica, the question I was going to ask you a while ago, and we detoured, which is good, that's what we do, was what changes have you seen? You said you've been doing this 15 years. What changes have you seen in the landscape?
That's a good question. My goodness, if I don't learn something new every single day, then I'm getting behind. It's just everything's changing constantly. And with AI, it's exploding. I mean, the opportunities are endless. You could take a picture of you and put you on a ship with a sailor's hat and a owl on your shoulder, and you just type that right in and it'll create that for you.
AI is what is it? Fantastic, unbelievable. Do you use it?
We are navigating that currently. How can we use it and benefit? We really try to get the right student in the right program for the right reasons. And so that's kind of one of our mottos at Northwest Tech.
Jessica, I'm gonna correct you, so you might want to write this down. From Rosie and I, very sincere. You are young. You are young. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
I'll take it.
yeah. Take it and run with it, because some mornings, well, and some evenings, you tend to not feel young. My mama was a school teacher from the time she was 15. That's another story. Back in those days, you could get a teaching certificate if you were studying to be a teacher, but there was a restriction on it. I think you could only teach first and second grade, something like that. So she taught in little country schools in the teens, and she didn't retire until she was 74. And so all of the stuff that you're saying and what Rosie has said over the past months, I could never figure it out. But the way you say it, I get it. And I finally got it figured out after my mom retired, because I would be at the farm and the phone would ring. Remember the phone on the wall with the kinked up cords? And it would be a previous student that was passing through, and they would take a few minutes with my mom and tell her how much they appreciated her as a teacher 20 years ago and how they're sorry for what they did on that such and such. It really is. It takes a passion, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. You're right. Like I said, my mom was a teacher. My dad was a teacher. I'm a teacher. My husband's a teacher in education. So we have a pretty strong teaching foundation. And when the kids finally realize that we're in it for them, and how can we help you, and we kind of grow this little partnership and this little bond with them, then you really do build some just relationships that last forever. And my husband just said the other day, when his players send him messages, happy birthday, or those kids that you think they forgot about you, but they haven't. And it is a very, very rewarding profession.
True. And we thank you so much for coming on with Rose and Ben. Great job, Rosie.
Yeah.
I would say that there is nothing left in this woman's life that you don't know about. You ask it all. We'll be right back on Rose and Ben right after this timeout.
Ben on KALV.
Beatles New Beginnings Nursing Center is proud to offer comprehensive care solutions for those who matter most. From rehabilitation and palliative care to skilled nursing and long-term care, Beatles is committed to providing comfort, dignity, and peace of mind. Now, with a second location, the Beatles family continues its long-standing tradition of excellence, serving the people of Northwest Oklahoma with the same compassion and dedication they've been known for. Come by and see them at 720 North Share Boulevard in Alva. Beatles New Beginnings Nursing Center, your care, your comfort, your community.
This is Rose and Ben on KALV.
Yeah, I will.
Take care. You'll see me.
Well, we're saying goodbye to Jessica here. We went through the orientation with her and said, okay, there's no valet here. When we're done, we're done. And she's fine. She's fine with that. That was a great interview, Rosie. You just did marvelous.
Well, thank you. When do I get to interview you? Because I have something I want to ask you. You want me to wait till Jeremy, or do I get to do it now?
Well, I have two thoughts on that. One is you're scaring me to death. You're scaring me to death.
Yes.
I'm not sure I want you to interview me. There are things that you know that I don't want other people to know, but that's another story. Jeremy, however, has given us valuable time. So why don't we start with him? That is to say that your time and my time are not that valuable.
That sounds good. Just save me a couple of minutes.
Okay, you got it. You got it. For those of you that have been trying to listen to us, we have Wi-Fi problems. Not us, but the Wi-Fi, the provider. So producer-director Cade Kennedy has proved his worth once again and moved from one facilitating source to another, and so we're now good. So for those of you that didn't get mad and left, thank you very much. those of you that did leave, you're on KLVradio.com, and that has gone fine. And the tell me what I'm trying to say. The stream is good. So you can go to Facebook, you can go to YouTube. We'll archive this on the. Jessica's interview was absolutely. It happens every time, and I've said this before, but I need to say it again. I think I know stuff. Wrong. Every time we interview somebody, I go, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Good stuff from Jessica Schombacher. So Jeremy Zeller is here, and he's been patiently waiting. Patience is kind of a virtue with you, isn't it?
Yeah, if you knew my family, absolutely.
Right. I have a sign on my wall in my dining room that said, "If you'd met my family, you'd understand."
I understand. No, I love them. They're all fantastic and wonderful. But
where did you come from?
In
not biologically, but where do you call home?
I actually I'm an interesting mutt, if you will. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and grew up in North Carolina. And then I was in Norman, went to OU. Some people are booing right now on the radio. Some are cheering. And I now reside here in Woods County, in the area, and just happy to do what I do, which is economic development for Woods County.
So I'm talking to this woman, and I say, Jeremy's going to be on the show. She goes, Jeremy's ill? I said, yeah. Oh, I worked with him in the Department of Commerce. You were in the Department of Commerce?
Yes, I was at the Oklahoma Department of Commerce. And I'm curious which woman you talked to, but depending on who you talk to, maybe good things or bad things.
Well, when we started the conversation, she said, whatever you do, don't tell Jeremy my name.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense.
No, I'm kidding. I am kidding. She spoke highly of you, but I wouldn't have even noticed that because I was going, what? What? So what's the Department of Commerce? Well, I guess it does the same thing you're doing now, kind of.
Yeah, so the Oklahoma Department of Commerce, of course, for the state is about economic development, retention, recruitment, expansion, different facets of it, of course. I started there and created what was called the Site Ready program. Now, that's more industrial recruitment of the big manufacturing businesses. And then I transitioned myself over to what was the Oklahoma Main Street program, and I was the economic developer there. Now that part was actually more near and dear to my heart because it's helping out the mom and pops, the downtown main streets, and getting their businesses going. And my background, my dad was a restaurant owner, and so specializing in restaurants. So I always near and dear to my heart if you're a one or a two person type business that I like to see what we can do to get you successful and succeed. With that said, I also work with the Avard Rail Park Authority, being with Woods County Economic Development, and we're in the middle of creating a new industrial park. So there's that possibility of recruiting something that may be on a larger scale. So really a little bit of everything. I also do the accounting, event planning, and I'm landlord and lender. So I also clean up around the office, so custodian too. Nah, we have a great custodian where we're at. So,
okay, let's go to this. Okay, I started getting questions when they broke ground out here. What's going on south of town? Well, I thought I knew, so I said that's the new building for Farm Credit of Western Oklahoma. No, the other side of the highway, and it's further out, and on and on and on. And I found out that I really didn't know, and now it's a month later, and frankly, I still don't know. But I know that a lot of people are talking about, I heard there's a data center coming. I heard that. We don't, and so on. You got anything to, I know you have a program coming up, but is there anything that we can talk about today?
well, okay. So first of all, as I've been approached many a times, it was a Google data center. It was a 2,000-acre data center. I can tell everyone right now, as of today, there is no data center. This project that's being done is actually the new industrial park that we're creating. We have no tenants at this time, but we received what's called ARPA and PREP funds through the Oklahoma Department of Commerce. And those funds have allowed us to acquire land, create an industrial park, improve the water and the sewage. Not only the city of Alpha is going to have some great improvements that will happen with that, but also it will provide water and a sewage opportunity for this industrial park. So it will help in that recruitment process. When I was at the Oklahoma Department of Commerce, I started that Site Ready program, and all that was about getting your area shovel ready so you can recruit a business to come in and say, hey, we have what you're looking for. We have all the utility capacities that you need, and that usually gets you one step further into the possibility of recruiting a business and getting what is the most important part, quality jobs here and into Woods County.
So not 2,000 acres, but pretty good size.
Oh, about over 300. Now, it also complements what Avard Rail Park Authority already has, which is further down, and that's with a certified BNSF industrial park itself. So opportunity there for rail if somebody...
Wait a minute. I'm sorry to interrupt, but there's two places? There's two venues?
There is the original Avard Regional Rail Park, and now what's being built off the highway that you see there is a new property with we were actually granted a opportunity with some consultants through the Department of Commerce who made a suggestion of being closer to the highway. It helps in recruiting the possibility of new businesses. And so with that, we were able to have that land acquired, and we're improving it to where it would be attractive for possibility of businesses to come in.
Well, I have a thought that may or may not be, some of mine aren't good, but it is a thought. That's really still pretty close to Avard. You could actually use the rail access or the highway access or both.
Yeah, and that's exactly why they complement each other really well. We obviously... Any situation where if we are approached by a business or if we see a potential business that's looking, and Department of Commerce is really good about putting out these RFIs, which is request for information, and they ask, do you have this in your area? So we can say, in some cases, yes, we have that, and hey, we also have that rail option if somebody's interested.
Oh, that puts a whole different spin on it. Rosie's over here doing cartwheels. A 91-year-old cartwheeler. We don't want her to overdo it. She's got a question.
I thought you weren't going to give my age, but you didn't let me down. You did. Well, basically, then you're moving the rail park east.
Well, no.
The old, what we call the original one to begin with. You're moving it over east?
No, actually, what we're doing is we are creating a new industrial park. So that rail park is still there, and that opportunity is available. But now we have a new one that is being developed and should be done, I think, for the most part, spring of 2027 is when, so really about a year from now, you'll see where everything, the funding that has to be used will be used at that time. So.
Wonderful conversation. Jeremy will be back with Rosie. Don't forget, this is the only show in the universe that actually gives you something that's concrete. So Rosie has looked back in her life, which is, you can imagine, taking a few nights and some notes. And at the end of every program, if she and I remember it, which is a bit of a challenge, Rosie gives you your thought to live by. It's worth thousands. Stay with us. We'll be back with Jeremy to talk more about, we'll talk about this big event coming up that's kind of hooked on to the Lieutenant Governor's turkey hunt. We'll be back right after this.
It's Rose and Ben on KALV. Let's talk about your future. Are you looking for a career change or possibly training in computers, health careers, automotive, cosmetology, digital design, electrical trades, welding, or biomedical sciences? At Northwest Technology Center, we offer these programs for adults, high school, and homeschool students from Alene Clio, Alva, Canton, Cherokee, Fairview, Freedom, Ringwood, and Winoka. Call to enroll today at 580-327-0344 in Alva or 580-227-3708 in Fairview. Northwest Technology Center is preparing students for success in education, careers, and life. This is Rose and Ben on KALV.
Rose and Ben on the radio rodeo. We had our first rodeo. Well, it was a bull riding last week, Bull Battle 10. Congratulations to Justin and Justin Dowdy and that incredible Western committee that works so hard at that thing, and the new Salt Fork Event Center. That's not been around long enough for me to just snap the name off, but I'll get better at it. So down to the economic development bonanza downtown, the man that runs that and all things around. Jeremy's on the radio with us and on KALVradio.com, which is on Facebook and YouTube and other places. Jeremy, thanks for coming out. You got so much going on.
Yeah, well, next week is our Lieutenant Governor's turkey hunt. And for those who aren't aware what exactly that is, the Lieutenant Governor, for about a week's time, when it gets to where you can go hunt turkey, goes around to different areas, Ardmore, Elk City, Woodward, and here in Alva, and other places that I didn't name. But, there's just a whole week filled. And what we do is we try to develop our own events that take place during that hunt. And what we like to do is we do have our Lieutenant Governor dinner where the Lieutenant Governor will be there and we'll talk. But we invite guests, and in those guests that we invite are to help in the recruitment and retention of the economic development world here in Woods County. And what I like to do is reach out to all of our mayors, and I reach out to some of our businesses, the university, to see if there's any guests they'd like to bring in that would help in the retention and expansion for their end and their area of things. But the recruitment also is there too, as we just talked about. Industrial Park's going to be available. And so what I like to do for the first day is kickstart our turkey hunt to give back to the public and give them something, an opportunity. So on Wednesday, April 15th, at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and this will be at the Northwest Technology Center, we are having a retail and business workshop. We have a guest speaker whose name is Haley Rocha. She's out of OSU, and she's going to come and give some simple tools to help in regards of AI that was discussed earlier with Jessica, and e-commerce, so if you're wanting to sell online, and then branding and marketing. So she's going to really give a whole bunch of information there, again, at the Technology Center, and lunch is provided, and I don't want to spoil who the lunch is from, but let me just say that it is pizza, and it may be from a certain Alva Beer Company, but I won't say their name yet. No, it's Alva Beer Company.
Who's invited to that?
Anybody's invited, and it's free for them to come. Seating is limited, but please, anybody who may know someone, it is not just restricted to here. We love to give. We give to all the other communities. So come on and Once again, April 15th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Northwest Technology Center. We'd love to see you there and get to learn some stuff. And was suggested by our speaker, if you have a laptop, to bring it, because I think she's going to do some hands-on stuff where you may be able to develop some things right there, which I love that. You know, sometimes you go to these things and you just write down your notes and then you forget them 2 weeks later. This is going to be some opportunity for hands-on. But if you don't have a laptop, you're going to learn quite a bit of stuff there too. And then what we do is at the end of the turkey hunt, as you know, there'll be on April 17th, that Friday, Eggs and Issues. But one of the questions that was brought up was in regards to this whole data center possibility. And so I brought in a guest speaker who's a specialist in data centers, and he's going to be talking about the good, the bad, the ugly of what is a data center. Also, I told him in a conversation I had yesterday, let's also talk about the past, the present, and future of data centers. What is it? What was it before? What are some, facts, what's some fiction about them, and then in a year from now or 2 years from now, what is a data center? How many jobs does it bring? What do they do for communities? Is there anything that they contaminate? There's a lot of things, because people don't know much about what a data center truly is. So he's going to come and he'll be speaking from 9 to 10. This is also at Northwest Technology Center, and that's going to be Friday, April 17th. Seating again is limited, but I do believe a certain special somebody is going to be there broadcasting live, and that's your competition, isn't it, Ben? No, it's you, isn't it?
I sort of am my competition. Yeah, yeah. We'll live stream that thing, and it's got a Q&A to it also, right?
Well, I know our guest speaker is actually from the Oklahoma Department of Commerce, Jay Scheidler, specializing in data centers, among other things. He's just really a wealth of knowledge. He said that he's happy to do some Q&A with no problem. He also, I believe, will be happy to talk to people afterwards. So it's not like he's going to duck on out of there, because people have, their pitchfork and torches we're going to be able to answer whatever questions need to be answered. And one other great little thing that's happening is there's pre-conversation, pre-meetings that are going on with Blue Peak about laying down some fiber. So we got that possibility, opportunity that's happening here in the near future of fiber and fiber access there.
That is so incredibly important to what we do. I'm looking at it selfishly, but that takes quality Wi-Fi. That's something maybe that not everybody understands. I certainly didn't. Is that signal varies, and if it is coded and in the ground, it is absolutely maximum. And you'll be able to go hook up to your website or whatever and it's at maximum peak just absolutely immediately. It's a great blessing. Do you know what we ought to do rather than put this on you, Jeremy? I think I might be a little remiss in maybe we haven't asked the city manager to come on Rose and Ben. Rose, why didn't you remind me of that? We'll get to what?
I'll do that because does that mean it's going to speed up my internet?
Oh, tremendously. For instance, we just to put it in our realm here, when we do ball games, wherever we are, depends on how that ball game is going to look as to how they get their internet. We can be anywhere. We've been as much as 35 seconds behind. So picture this. I'm talking about somebody at the top of the key shooting the basketball, and they're seeing a different color uniform at the other end laying on the floor with a turned ankle. We also, with our new system here, now this is inside speed ups. If we do a sporting event in this area, Winoka, Alva, Burlington, the delay is going to be less than 2 seconds. I mean, when you see that the guy is shooting the ball from the top of the key, he's shooting your internet will be so much better.
I think we have the slowest internet available.
No, but you're probably in the top 10.
I was trying to think of, the old days in the West, how they got around without the internet, but, I guess they did it. You've got something, Ben. I already know you do.
I'm telling you that there were some things about it that are way better than it is now. I mean, not being able to be found from time to time is a plus, and it doesn't exist anymore, right?
Right. That Life 360, they know where you're at, including whether you're in the dinner table or in the bathroom. They know you.
I had my car stolen from in front of a hotel in Oklahoma City, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And so I called it in, and they said, dial this number and we'll be right out there. So I dialed the number, and they were able, the police in Oklahoma City, from the bunker, from the data center, if you will, slowed my car from 80 to 15 miles an hour, which gave a whole different blush to a police chase.
I'm imagining the driver now who's sitting there looking around like.
That's exactly right.
And, hopefully he was on TV, learned his lesson.
Did not. He was, but did not. It was a couple of young people who were. This is almost a romantic comedy. They decided to steal a car and leave Oklahoma City and go start a life somewhere else. And they made it from about Northwest Expressway and Meridian to the fairgrounds.
Well, it sounds like a failed Quentin Tarantino movie right there.
It also might have been God working in that kid's life. He didn't need to go get married.
Yeah, two things wonderful happened to him that day, right?
Exactly. Okay, Rose, you're over here going, I have a question or a comment. Which way?
Oh, did you say they slowed your car down? How do they do that?
Yeah, exactly. And you don't know that they can. I mean, Jeremy, please don't be offended. Well, you can be offended if you want to. Here's one of the reasons that rumors abound, and that is because of things that have happened to us in the last few years. We do not trust the United States government. We do not. We, the people. Now, you, Jeremy, might.
Oh, what is it? I plead the fifth. But no, there's a lot of things. If you think about it, just technology, AI. I use AI a lot. I mean, I am the one person that's in my office, so it would be great if we could hire an administrative assistant, as they used to be called. We can't, but now I can have one with the AI. But you also have to understand that just like the human administrative assistant, things can be wrong and you cannot fully rely on it. And there's I don't know how many times I'll get on the internet and it says somebody passed away. And I'm like, oh man, I can't believe they passed away. But then you look up and there they are and it's like, no, I haven't passed away. I'm still alive.
Willie Nelson even put out a song about that. I'm sorry, I've not died again. I woke up this morning not dead.
No, it was roll me up and smoke me.
When I knew you were going somewhere with that. Not Willie. Willie wouldn't be that way.
Look how healthy he's not anymore. I don't think he's giving concerts, but
yes, he is.
He's still giving concerts.
They just put out a tour list again yesterday. I mean, it's been out, but it's updated. He is almost straight through to, the Outlaw show is always around, on that 4th of July weekend, but he's booked mostly in Texas, up to Farm Aid. Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, remember, we won't go there. We don't have time to do that. That's on another show. What do you got?
I wanted to know how many people usually come to this turkey hunt. How many people usually take part in it?
Well, the turkey hunt, which is just a well-oiled machine in how we do it, we try to, embrace Woods County. Alva is mainly the headquarters and the host, and we'll bring them to Little Sahara Desert. And that generally, we have this year 20 guests that are coming, but with our fantastic team that we have, he probably would kill me if I said his name on the radio, but I'm saying it anyway. Keith Rose and Brenda Rose are really the ones that make this a magic and make it happen. He sets up the whole guides and gets them to where they can hunt. Now, there's some that don't want to hunt, and so with that, we are doing, this is actually the first year we're going to take a few to go golfing and get to see what the country club has to offer. And talked with Corey yesterday, and he probably angry that I just said his name, but when kudos are needed, kudos need to be given out, and these people have done fantastic. We have a fantastic committee. Larry Milborn, who's the manager with the arena, he's on there. Haley Reagan out of Northwest Technology Center, and we also have the one who knows it all, Dr. Kay Decker. She's on there as well, and she gives her suggestions. And then Kelly Parker is another one that we have. Steve Sterling does a great, fantastic job with the food. And by golly, if I miss somebody, I apologize to you. But just all around, just a good team that gets together and makes this thing happen. They've been doing this for so long, well before me. This will be my 4th year doing it. And it's just really wonderful event. We get some good guests. We've seen some productivity out of it. We built some great connections, and the dinner that we have the opportunity. Lieutenant Governor comes in. Of course, this is going to be his last year, so we'll have a new one, and we'll probably shift some things around whenever the new Lieutenant Governor comes in. It's just how it is. They like to make a little change themselves, but with the new arena, we're going to have a tour for these guests. They're going to get to see Alva. We're going to go to the downtown. We're going to take them to the pool. We're going to take them to the university. I believe we have the nightlight in there. We're going to start at Alva Beer Company to give them some pizza, and pizza is what we're giving them, just pizza. So we want them to remember what they're going to be seeing, and then we're going to cap it off at the arena.
Jeremy, thank you so much for coming on today. There's been a tremendous amount of really, really good information presented in a wonderful way. Thank you for all you do for our community also.
Oh, absolutely. Happy to help. I love it, and sometimes I'm working Saturdays and Sundays, but it's for a great cause, and I love that.
Well, we certainly want you to keep up that Saturday, Sunday work. I mean, we like to go straight through.
Oddly, my wife does too. I'm just kidding.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. So thank you so much. We're going to pause for our last attempt to pay the light bill here at the studio in Alva, Oklahoma. Jeremy will make his way back into the real world, and Rose will be along with the thought for the day right after this.
It's Rose and Ben on KALV.
Alva State Bank and Trust Company, older than Oklahoma, big enough to serve you and small enough to know you.
We love to give back to our customers. Did you know Alva State Bank offers a great rewards checking account program? That's right. You can earn cash back or high interest with our Kasasa accounts. We will even refund you up to $25 in ATM fees.
How do I qualify?
It's simple. Just swipe your debit card 12 times, sign up for online statements, and have one ACH credit or debit post to your account.
Can I do it online?
Yes. Just visit our website at www.alvastatebank.com to see if our Kasasa Rewards program is right for you. We make banking easy. Whether you're at home, the office, or in your car, our online or mobile banking options help you juggle busy schedules and financial needs.
We plant roots where others have branches.
Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
This is Rose and Ben on KALV.
Hey, I'm back here, and I get to interview my boss, and I picked up a paper, and guess what? The Winoka rattlesnake hunt is being dedicated to you, Benny, for the Snake Announcer of the Year. What the heck's going on? How come they're doing that? How many years have you been doing this? This is fantastic. I should have got you flowers, but I'll bring you some Birox instead.
I like all of that. It's a wonderful event. It's a large event. It's shepherded by Waylon and Dusty Seeger and their wives, I promise, and a big committee. It is a wonderful event, and I am really, really honored. And we'll see you down there on Sunday. Give us your thought for the day.
Oh, okay. If you want it done right, do it yourself.
I cannot tell you how many times I've heard my dad say that in a different way. You want anything done right around here, I gotta do it yourself. Rose and Ben on the radio.
Well, congratulations on that nice honor. I'm sure you do a lot, and maybe I'm going to have more respect now.
I think any modicum of respect would certainly be appreciated. Thank you for joining us on Rose and Ben. We'll see you back at the Radio Rodeo the next time around. We now return you to regular programming.